Hello friends, Pam Delcastillo here at www.pamdel.stampinup.net. Today I'm going to showcase a suite called Ornate Garden Suite. This suite is an early release that will be available April 1st through May 31st, and it's a sneak peek of a suite out of the new catalog that'll be out in June. It is beautiful. I mean, when I saw it, I just had to have it, so I ordered it right away. You will be able to order it starting April 1. The suite consists of two stamp sets. There's the Thanks bundle, Ornate Thanks bundle, and it has these dies, which are beautiful, and all this font is beautiful on here. I just love it. The card that I've done with it, a sample I've done, is this one right here. This uses the edgelet dies. Here and here, and then this is a little frame die. And then I used some of the stuff that came out of the frame die on the inside and the little flowers. The other set that's in the suite is called Ornate Style, and it's all of these beautiful frame detailed frame dies, and this stamp set, which is what we're going to use today on our card. And the sample that I've got for us today is missing. Oh, here it is. It's this card right here. One part of the suite, if you can tell, this is embossed with the Ornate floral embossing folder that comes in the suite. And I also used this Sending Love ribbon combo pack. It has the, I can't think of the word. It has the old olive ribbon and the Calypso coral. I can't even call it. Anyway, ribbon. That's what we used on the card today. This is one of the dies from the Ornate frames. This is the embossing folder. This is one of the stamps, and we're going to color that with daubers. And then this is the same die on the inside that I used on the outside. I just did it in white and then stamped one of the flowers and colored it on the inside. So I'm going to sit this over here. Hopefully you can see it. I'm off to kind of a rough start. Words are not coming. This might be a good day to video. Anyway, so the first thing we have to do is stamp the image, and then we start to color. I'm going to color in the green first, the leaves, with a finger dauber, and I'm just gonna wisp a little bit of ink on there. It didn't take much, just a little bit, and I'll show you something I do to come back to give it a little more detail. So just put just a little bit of ink. This is my kind of coloring, nice and quick. So I just daub it into the ink and just hit the little pads. Something I do is take a block and put it down into the ink pad, and it gives me ink on the block. And then I take a Q-tip and give a little detail to the leaves to make it a little darker. So I just go over and do it this way. So I'm not going to do all of this. I'm going to show you basically how I did the leaves. So I just made it a little darker and then maybe bring it out a little bit. This is a lot easier to control than the finger dauber to make it darker. See the difference between this one and this one? It just adds a lot to it. So the big flowers, I'm going to use the Calypso coral and just take the dauber and start going in a circle in the center, because you want it darker in the center and then get lighter when you go out. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. So to make it darker in the middle. Do the same thing on this other flower. Okay. Then the yellow flower, we'll take So Saffron and color in those flowers. Oh, by the way, I stamped this in StazOn so that it won't smear when you go to put the ink on there. Okay. Then I colored the little flowers in our end color called Seaside Spray, which is the same color as the cardstock base is made out of, Seaside Spray. So this one you really just have to do a little twist. Oh, I missed a leaf there. This is nice and quick and easy. I'm loving easy. I'm going to take this and fill in my leaf over here a little bit. Ah, okay. So that's all there is to the coloring, except I did take a marker and color in a little bit. I just dotted around these insides of these daisies to make it stand out a little bit. So that's really all I did there. Then we take this and hand cut it. Let me show you a little trick about hand cutting. You always turn the paper, not the scissors. So you keep the scissors still and just move the paper. I used to hate to cut, but now I don't mind at all, because when I learned this trick about moving the paper, it's so much easier than the way I was doing it before. So you just... And it doesn't have to be perfect. The dies sometimes don't come out perfect. But anyway, that's how you hand cut that. Okay, I've finished cutting this out. Now all we have to do is attach it to, this is going to go on the front of the card, and we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. Let's see, where are my dimensionals go? I won't make you watch. Okay, I have about 6 dimensionals on here. Then we take these off and position this on the card at a little bit of a slant. I like to put part of it kind of off the frame and part of it in the frame. It just gives it a little more interest. Like so. So now all we do is attach this to the front of the card. And I'm just going to do that with glue. I love this card because it's so easy to color. So the little sentiment on the front, I have a lot of these little pieces of paper left over from cutting a lot of paper up. So I just take the stamp from this set. I thought I already had it set up, but I don't. And I'm going to stamp this in the Calypso Coral because I think it shows up a little better in the Calypso Coral. So you just get it good and inked. And then I like to line it up on my grid paper. That's why I love this grid paper, so that I can do this as straight as possible. So I look to see if it's straight. And then stamp, hold it for a second, let the ink sink into the paper, and there you go. Not bad. And then I cut this side at an angle also. And we're going to put that, let's close this up before I make a mess. I'm going to put this about right there, and I put dimensionals on that too. Put a couple dimensions on that. I I see something that I didn't color. I took my Stampin' Blend and colored in the center of those little blue flowers. Some of them get covered up, but we'll just do it. Oops, got some on my... And then these are some of the gilded gems that come with the suite. These are a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. They're a little champagne color. And I'm going to take one of these and put it in the center of that flower. Use my take your pick tool, picks them up so perfect. And just put that right there. I wanted to share a little tip with you. I saw somebody cutting out these dies because they're so detailed, and they were using wax paper. But my friend Deborah, I'm not sure where she got the tip from, but when she was saying we used to use the precision plate when we did the ornate dies like this. But now, she said, take a dryer sheet, and I even use a used dryer sheet, and just rub over the top of the cut side, just ever so slightly. You could probably use a brand new one, but the used one works. Why not use that? And then it cuts, and it cuts out beautifully. Now, I got the brush tip for my take your pick tool, and I leave the pokey end open so that I can brush all the bits and pieces out of it and then poke it out. And I use a big pan to do that in so it doesn't make a big mess. But I love that tip with the dryer sheet. It works just as good as the precision plate used to work. So that's great. So now I have a little bow. These are the ribbons that come in the pack with the Calypso Coral and the Old Olive. And we're going to use the Calypso Coral. I'm just going to show you again how simple it is to use this bow jig that my husband makes for my customers. So if you don't have one, let me know. So I just go left over right and under and over, and then just tie this into a tie. Tie it tight, come off, and a beautiful ribbon, a beautiful bow. So I cut this a little bit. So I'm going to take this ribbon and put it kind of at a slant, since this is cut at a slant, or maybe I'll cover up, no. I think I'll cover up where I put that marker on there. So I'll cut this a little shorter and cover up that mark on my card. So I'm just going to take a glue dot, and I roll it up to a little ball and put it on the back of the ribbon. This is how I attach my ribbons. It's so much easier. And then I'm going to put right there where that mark is. Well, okay. So for the inside, I took the same die in white, and I set up in the Stamparatus the flower out of this same stamp set, so that, let me make sure I got this in the shot. So line this up straight, and I'll line this flower up. Now, I don't want the stamping to go beyond the bottom, so I just take these Post-it notes over this and over that. Then I ink this up in the StazOn because I'm going to color this too. And stamp that on the white piece. I'll probably stamp it twice because this is pretty light StazOn brown. And then I'm going to pick this up. I can take these off, and it just has it coming out from the corner. So that works pretty good. Okay. Put that away. Okay, so we've got this. Now we're going to color this with the So Saffron ink dauber And then the green. I'm going to use it off of this block that I put some ink on. And just put, you know, I'm going to use my Q-tip because this one's even smaller. So I'm just going to put the green on the leaf like that. And take my little pen and my blender, Stampin' Blend, and just make little dots like the stamp has on it. Okay, so this now goes in the middle of the inside of the card, which is where? I got the wrong card. Okay, this card. So I think that's all I did on the inside. Oh no, I had to do the stamping on the inside. So we'll go ahead and put this on the inside. Where's my glue? And I took another little piece of white paper. Let me find my white paper again. I have so many of these things that I've cut off of pieces of cardstock. And I got this from the Itty Bitty Greetings. It says Easter Blessings. And I'm going to stamp it in the same Calypso coral because I think it shows up better. Move this. Line this up again on the grid paper so I can stamp it straight. I've already tested the stamp to know that it stamps straight. So I'm gonna then I'll do like I did on the sentiment on the outside, cut that at a little bit of an angle. I also took a dauber and sponged around the edge because it's white on white and it shows up a little better if you sponge around the edge. So I just took the dauber and just flicked a little bit of ink on the edge all the way around. Since it's white on white, it makes a difference. Then just pop that up with a couple of dimensionals. And we're done. Okay, there you go. Another Easter card. Here's the one I made before. And here's the one we just made on the video. I covered the little splotch up with the bow. I might straighten that out a little later. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the card. This set will be available April 1 through May 31st. And trust me, it is truly beautiful. The font is real pretty, and the detailed and the dies is just gorgeous. I love this stamp set. So I hope you enjoyed it, and have a happy Easter. Bye.